work for us, not just from the spirit of Adwa, but hey, Instagram, it's me, T, from the past. Is taking the train to Tibet. I'm just here going over, man. By the way, it is blue light. Oh, so hey, shout out to Blue Light Brigade. Yeah, but okay. I was the stretching I didn't really do yet because I've been busy. I've been busy. I've been busy. You know, right after we finish here, I'm not even. I'll take a break from this. I do the stretching, and I'll drink up. You know, I do the stuff. Right? But you know, y'all know what you're supposed to be doing anyway. You're not supposed to do what I'm doing. You're supposed to do what you be doing. It's blue light. Come on, let's think about it. Anyway, back. Oh, sorry, YouTube. So I have to talk to the Blue Light Brigade because we're in the blue light. So I was so taken by the speech that the Prime Minister of Barbados, what's her name, Mia Mottley, yes, Mia Mottley, gave to the African Union over there in Ethiopia. I'm a good teacher, right? But something like this, what I would assign my students to do, I would say, okay, so we got a modern world, we got YouTube, we got stuff like that. What I want you to do is I want you to take the speech. I don't want you to read the speech someplace. You need to write, as the speech comes over the YouTube, you know, they give you the translator, whatever, they give you the Chiron there, I'm talking media talk, giving the, you know, whatever, they're putting up what they're saying, the translation, whatever you call it, right? You need to transcribe yourself. Transcribe yourself. You write it, you start writing what she's saying, she's telling, and you write it out yourself, right? Then, it's a 20-minute speech. Like I talk for 20 minutes usually. You're not supposed to listen to the whole thing. But I'm up to 10:28. I started this yesterday. Well, I didn't sit down because I got the shoulder thing and I got to take breaks. Anyway, the point is, so basically I'm halfway through. So as I'm halfway through, now I go back and I start, because I finished the other half today, you know, now I go back and I start highlighting stuff, you know, that I start highlighting stuff. Now, you say, well, brother, what's all that? Because that's how, look, I'm a trained, what do you call that? I archive, you know what I mean? I'm a recordist. When you record us, what you do is there's a speech happening, right? You know, you're recording an event, right? Say it's John Stockwell talking about how he had Patrice Lumumba back in the boot of his car, right? So, but you're not, well, what you're doing is you're recording and then you're making notes. It's like, okay, this is important, as clickers going by, right? So you're sort of listening, but you're not listening to what he's saying, which you sort of listen, okay. Then you can, remember you record on like a cassette tape, this is back in the day, this is back in the day. Then you go back to the studio, right, and you transfer it off. And usually you don't do it as fast, you do it as real time. So now you're listening to it again. Then it's done. Now you got to cut. You got to edit the tape. Now this the old day where you had a razor blade and tape and joining tape and stuff like that. In other words, it was blood, sweat, and tears. You're sweating. You cut yourself. There's blood. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And tears when you did say, with that piece of tape up, it's, oh my gosh, I messed up my whole thing. You got tape all over you with the tape. Doesn't matter. That means you heard it like 2-3 times maybe. Then you got to put together, you got to listen to what you've done. So that's like the 4th time. Then you present it. Like if you have your own program, you do it for your own program, you present your program, so you're hearing it again if you're listening, right? Or for somebody else, you know, whatever. So you hear it at least 3 times, which means that you really know what's going on. Well, in this modern world, people don't even sit to listen to okay, no, I say what people don't do. That's what I do. If I was to teach a class, let's say, and I say, this is the most important speech I've heard thus far. I'm going to come and there's another important piece that happened today too, what I found. Anyway, so what I want your class to do, I need you all to write out, because there's a thing that happens when you're writing something. Even if you're writing just from your head, but even if you're transcribing something, you're writing, you're paying more attention. You see? It's a technique. And then I've come halfway through, so now I go back before I finish the other half, Because now I'm sort of thinking, and I'm highlighting. I highlight, and that's what I do, right? Now, here's the thing. Can I say something? You all seen that movie Hidden Colors, right? If you didn't, it's a good movie. You know, there's one thing where they're discriminating against, you know, what they call the computers. The computers meaning like black women who are basically from the typing pool or whatever it is for NASA. And then one person gets up there and she's a mathematical brain, and so but you know, they're not letting us see everything. So they're redacting stuff. They're they're putting black marks on stuff. Make like black marks on stuff so you can't see them. Oh, she's smart. She's a smart woman. She's a black woman. She's smart, right? So she just puts up the light and sees what they what they redacted. This is back in the '60s, you know. So they've since done stuff now that you can't see the thing like that. So then she can do her calculations correct, right? Okay. Now the thing is, in this day and age, like they had the JFK files being released and whatever, Martin Luther King, and everybody says, or you go for the Freedom of Information Act, and they give you something, and it's all redacted, it's all black, right? So you're spending your time and energy saying, man, well, I spent my time and energy when trying to get this stuff. I might even have to, I don't know if you have to pay for the Freedom of Information Act stuff, but you know, I do all this stuff, and and like Mr. Newly Fuller Jr. said, peace and blessings on this eternal soul, you know, all we got is time and energy. So now you're busy trying to figure out what they done did, so they got you spun up into that, and they reject, right? My thing is that come from you get what you need, right? And then you go back and you highlight it instead of instead of redacting, spending your time trying to go through the redactions and trying to whatever it is. You take what you know and you highlight, right? You can redact, try to figure out redactions, spend your time and energy to do that, or you can highlight your own thoughts or something that's more relevant than what's more relevant than who killed Martin Luther King? Ask yourself that question. I'll tell you what's more relevant. The fact that the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Motley, just gave an incredible speech. Not just, but you know, I guess it was last week. Gave an incredible speech. That's what's more relevant than who killed whoever and who we're going to blame for, you know, we're dealing with it now, time and energy, right? So that's what I've been doing. It's interesting. So I'm sitting here, I'm going like, hey, this feels like something. Now, see, back in the day, I won't tell you about that part, because I'll tell you some other time about that part. But I feel like I first found out about Trotsky when I was in the Air Force, because there was this guy, Johnson, we call him by the last name. So he was a cousin to Beverly Johnson, you know, the big-time model, right? And you actually know his voice. You may know his voice. If you listen to Nina Simone, there's a thing called Emergency Ward, you know, and Emergency Ward album, right? And it's like one lower cut and one thing and other cuts in there. Anyway, so you hear his voice introducing her, because it took place right outside of McGuire Air Force Base or Fort Dix, because they couldn't get on the base proper. When I say they, I mean it was like Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland. They had this tour, and Nina Simone was part of the tour. It's called FTA. Well, Free the Army is what the name of the tour was officially, but it was really FTA. Can you imagine? It was whatever, the Army. Well, anyway, it was an anti-war thing, and we presented to basically to the soldiers. So when they got to that area, they rented a theater, right? It was really interesting, because what they did, instead of having of course, they're celebrities, so all the press is trying to be there, and they say they made sure that so nobody from the press could sit in the front. We all got to. We don't care where you are. This is for the soldiers. So me and Johnson sitting there, right? And they wanted somebody to introduce Nina Simone. That's what it is. So they got Johnson. So he goes up there and they introduce her. Now the High Priestess of Soul is Nina Simone. She's really good. I know really good people. You know. Anyway, so that's why you know him. Anyway, but he's the one that introduced me to Trotsky. Right? I said, oh, Trotsky. Don't worry about this part. This is my old goon cap. I'm talking about my black side. Anyway, so to Trotsky. So I start studying Trotsky, right? Now Trotsky, the reason why I bring him up, because I'm sorry, I have to laugh because that boy is a piece of work. Little guy. He has to exile because he's up there with the Soviet Union. I guess it became Soviet Union with the revolution, right? And with Lenin and I guess Stalin came next. All those people, right? But he was giving them a headache because when he said, "This is jobs." Think of him as like the Mengistu Robert Sobukwe of his day. He said, "I'm principal. I ain't hanging with these people." So he hangs out. He goes to Mexico, right? It's a little flat in Mexico, and around the corner. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to bring up this part. I'm just apologize ahead of time. So he's up there boinking Frida Kahlo, right? He said, Frida Kahlo, you know, the painter, the wife to Diego Rivera, the guy that when Rockefeller commissioned him to do the muralist. We did a big mural at Rockefeller Center, and he does this big mural, and on the bottom they have the Rockefeller, all with syphilis and everything like that. That's hilarious, man. Anyway, so he's there, and I visited his place. They have it's a museum in Mexico City. And you see, all he had was like at time I guess it was a teletype machine and his typewriter, and I think that's barely it. You know, there's a little desk. It's like you look at it. Man. In fact, my place here, well, my area, it's like the area I have. But look, this area here, like from here to here, this area and to the desk. That's about as big as his workspace was. You know. He just causing all kinds of problems. So I feel like Trotsky, man, all I got is the internet. Well, he's internet. And some writing I want to do. And I feel like Trotsky, right? I mean, not like his mental, but you know, okay, forget that part. Anyway, I'm having a good time. So anyway, you have a choice, right? You can highlight your own stuff, or you can spend your time trying to read the redacted, whatever they've redacted, right? Now remember, Ms. Neely Fuller Jr. said, all you got is time and energy. You're going to spend your energy, you know, chasing this. Because remember, here's the problem. Let me tell you the problem. The problem is this. All the stuff they put in their little thing and they redact, that's like their backwash. It's like their droppings, you know what I mean? And you're chasing their droppings, and when you catch up, what you going to do? You're going to be bathing in their backwash, reacting to what they well, I won't show you my book, what they wrote, right? Or what they said, because they're on a high horse. Let me do this another way. I had the privilege of interviewing the last of the Buffalo Soldiers. When I say last, the Buffalo Soldiers, they listed into, I guess really the 60s, but they changed from the forces, but they still carry the horses, and to, I guess, an armored unit or something like that. It's still in the Army right now. And so I interviewed because my man, he was man, peace and blessings on his soul. Anyway, his father was the last of the Buffalo Soldiers, so he wanted me to interview them. I said, okay, so I interviewed the last of the Buffalo Soldiers, right? And the first thing one of the guys said, well, because you know the soldiers, you know they're gonna be veteran or not, they're gonna try to take the wind out of you. I say the wind out of you, but you know what I'm talking about. The water out of you, right? And so, you got to clean their arse. You got to clean their, in other words, with a horse. You got to, the Buffalo Soldiers, what they have to do, take care of your horse. First thing you got to do is you got to make sure the poop is all out. So your horse, you got to run fast, whatever you I don't know why. That's what they got to do, okay? So when these people, like the comedians, or the celebrities, or the politicians, they come to your area and they say what they say and they're on their high horse and they pontificate and they tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and then they leave. And what happens? The horse, meanwhile, all you're getting is their stink, is the poop from the horse. They rode their high horse back up into the hills or whatever it is, you see? So unless you're hanging out, you know, with the horses, or not even with the horses because you got to clean them, unless you're doing the real work, I just don't get it, because either you're bathing in their backwash, you're reacting to their stuff, or you're listening or taking heed to their high horsiness. You know, you got to be in the trenches constantly. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, back to the point. So talk about the trenches. So now the big. I'm really happy. So I got so taken with the Prime Minister of Barbados. So I got to know what she says. So I got a revelation. But I'll tell you after I finish the whole thing, because I'm up to like minute 10 is like this 20-minute thing, right? But as I finished that, and hey, sunrise is here, I think. Is it sunrise? All right. As I did that, I happened to turn my there's sunrise. Hey, sunrise. As I was going, I turned on the internet, right? And I got this speech. Now remember, this sister, this older sister, well, the Prime Minister of Barbados, she's got to have some years in her, right? I got my man Zach. There's a lot of YouTube happening here. And try to pay attention to the African YouTube people. This guy Zach, I like him. My man is Louis Spot. This comes from Louis Spot, right? So Louis Spot. This comes from Zach. I don't know, one of those people. I was been to Louis Spot when he first started. I gave him money or did something with him. Okay. But they got this sister from the EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters, South African Party, and she gave a speech. This speech is like 8 minutes. Get to 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes from Sister Motley, and now I got this 8 minutes from this. She's not identified there. I guess she's going to go viral. Her name will be known. She got to be. I mean, let me put it this way: Africa is young anyway, and she's EFF. Just EFF. Let's say she graduated college, because most of them graduate college. Let's say maybe she's 24 years old. Man, she look 18. She looks 16, actually, right? She looks 16 years old. I know black don't crack, but this is ridiculous. Talk about the mouth of babes. Man, she laid into the president of the Republic of South Africa like you would not believe. Go look it up. I'm telling you, man. I wrote a thing. I said, "Oh snap!" Whoa, man. Look. I know for those of you sophisticates and you guys get the thing, you go look up the Prime Minister of Barbados speech that she did to the African Union. For the rest of you guys, if you want to be, like enlightened, entertained, see some young person smack the politicians. Hit them in boom boom boom. This young sister, whoa. In fact, when I finish here, I got to do my stretches and stuff like that. But I'm going to listen to it again. It's only 8 minutes. I'm going to listen to it again. She's dynamic. And, none of them mumbling and stumbling. Not like me, taking the pauses and having to think and stuff like that. Or zooming, or doing a Zoomer speech. Nah, she, like Huey Newton used to do back in the day. That kind of thing. Anyway. So I'm gonna leave y'all because I feel so happy to be on a planet right now and young people like that. And like I said, I can do my Trotsky thing, and I can just sit back and write and send messages out and do my exercises and eat well and whatever try to get my body back in shape because hey, I live to continue on. The revolution is in good hands. All I have to do is support whatever they're doing. And I don't even have to get, in fact, I don't even want to give no advice no more. The people I give advice, they listen to me anyway, so I don't care. Things are happening. Check it out. Check y'all later.